Hello, everyone. This is your host, Sirisha Akirla, and I welcome you back to another exciting episode of Life Musings by Dr. Padmaja Nandigama. We need certain soft skills to accelerate our career and personal growth. And one of the essential ones is communication, the topic for today's discussion. We might know the high-level definition of communication. For example, exchange of facts, ideas, opinions, and emotions by two or more persons. But to learn and accomplish that strength, we have our expert here to help. And our specialist, Dr. Padmaja Nandigama, is a motivational speaker, a life coach, and an academic advisor. Welcome back, Padmaja Garu.
Thank you, Sirisha. Thank you for a warm welcome.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
So why is it important to have communication skill?
See, this is a very good topic because communication is the key in the sense that how we keep in touch with people around us, and communication is essential, especially if you want to convey all our emotions, be it happiness, frustration, anger, and we communicate in different ways. I mean, we think just like speaking is the only way of communication, but no, we communicate in different ways. There are non-verbal communications, there are verbal communications, so many different aspects of our body movements, body expressions, those all constitute communication. And it is important because to be successful, you should have good communication skills in workplace. To have healthy relationships, you should have good communication skills with appropriate emotions. So communication skills, that's why is very, very important. And we can teach these communication skills as and when needed.
Right, that's true. So what are the different styles of communication?
Very good question again. Communication by itself, we think it's just talking, right? No, communication involves like a sender, a message, and a receiver. So right now we both are communicating. I'm sending a message and you are hearing the message. You are actively listening to what I'm saying.
Right.
So listening is also a very, very important aspect of communication because the way you listen will elicit a response from you. If you're not paying attention, you may not appropriately react to the sender, right? So here communication involves one, as I said, like sender and the receiver, talking and listening too, So there are like three types of listening. One is active listening, where there is actively listening, meaning you're focusing on what is being said, you're participating in it, you're showing interest, making an eye contact. And then the second one is critical listening. Critical listening is when I communicate with my students,
right?
And when I communicate with my students, I am like listening to what they're saying with a perspective that I have to give a critical feedback, so that they can include that in their answer or the response. Right. And the third one is a very important one. It's called empathetic listening. It's very important because, when we build relationships, empathy is one of the skills that is required, where we are showing the person who is communicating with you that you are interested in them. Not only you're interested in what they're saying, but you also empathize the situation. So for example, when somebody is talking to you, you say, exactly, I understand where you're coming from. I have gone through the same situation and this is how I responded. So that is empathetic listening. So what that does is, to the person who is talking to you, it shows that, oh, she's listening and also she really cares for me.
Correct.
That builds a healthy, stronger relationship.
True.
So listening is a very important part of our communication. In by keeping this things like talking and listening into consideration, there are different types of communication styles. And communication styles also are keeping in account of your dominance and your sociability. So when we see dominance and sociability, these are like scales. You see highly dominant people versus low dominant people. You see highly social people versus low social people. So when you put these two factors into combination, you see people who are highly dominant and highly sociable. Right. These are emotive style people.
Okay.
Those people are a little bit extroverts. They're highly sociable. They're very interested in what you're saying. They want to know extra information. They'll ask questions. They'll show a lot of interest. So they're there. They're present in the conversation. Emotive style. So like a talk show host is showing emotive style because they have to show interest in what's happening.
Right.
And the other one is directive style. These people have high dominance and low sociability. So they are very direct in their speech. They're going to say what they want to say. They're not interested in your personal matters. They're up to the point, concise, chop, 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 chop. Right. These are like your managers or your leaders. Exactly. They have this directive style. And they have to be like that because their job dictates that. I mean, if they come and chit chat with you, they may not accomplish the task. Or
That's true.
Yeah. So that is directive style. And then there is reflective style. Reflective style is where they are like low social and low on dominance too. So these people are like little, they keep to themselves. They're very precise and planned in the way they communicate. They are not going to be very social. They're not going to ask too many questions. But when you ask them for an answer or a feedback, they're going to think, they're going to come back with a detailed answer. Okay. So these are the reflective types who are like authors, thinkers, people who are very research-based people. And then the other one is supportive style. Supportive style is where they are low on dominance and low on dominance, but high on sociability.
Okay.
So these are people who are supportive. They're going to be there for you. They're going to be actively participating in the conversation, but they're not going to dominate, So they're assertive, but they are laid back too. But they are very actively participating. They will support you. They will encourage you. They have very good persuasive skills. So these four are four different styles, which you see. Emotive, directive, reflective, and support.
Okay.
So you might ask me, which is a good one of all these four?
My next question, which is the most effective kind of communication?
I would say everything has its own merits. Like I said, directive looks like, oh, she's very dominant. Yeah. But then, as we said, if you want to be a leader and if you have to lead a project or if you're leading a big team, you need to show a little bit of precision, and you need to be fast in your thinking, and you cannot chit chat and but as I said, every style is unique. Each of us will probably have to flex to the different styles.
It's customizing.
Customizing. Yeah, that's the word. And then you have to understand your own style. First, each one of us should understand what is your style of communication. Recognize. So that awareness will will give a chance to improve. And then, okay, if this is working, this is not working, and I want to move and get some promotions, what do I do? Then you flex your style.
Right.
So flexing your style is the key. You might have any communication style, but flexing your style, depending upon the situation, is the key to success.
Got it. So what do you think about these public workshops that kids nowadays enroll in? How effective are they?
Oh, here, communication is very important when you go to workplace or, when in college, when they have to do some presentations, or even in high school, and what is happening is many of our students now, have lost communication because they're busy texting, they're networking, all the time. And then online classes, all these have like put the communication on the back burner, right? So we need these communication skills, because knowing the knowledge is just not enough. You need to be able to communicate it. You need to be able to present it, because you might have a big idea, a great idea, but then how you sell your idea or how you put it out so that people can understand where you're coming from is very important. So, and also if you observe, different cultures have different educational priorities. In many cultures, in collectivist cultures, if you see, their educational system do not stress on communication skills or presentation skills. It's like you go to class, you read a lot of books, and you write exams, you get grades, and you do well in the grade with the grades, and then you move on. So you don't never have to present. Like, say for myself, when I was growing up in India, I didn't have to do many presentations. Still, even in masters, it was only book knowledge. How much did you know? How well did you score in an exam? Right. But come here for PhD, we had to do a brown bags where we had to present what we read, or we have to share the information. It is about sharing. So, and obviously, in India, we were taught that don't answer back to your teacher. Whatever your teacher says is the right one. But here in the Western society, you have to come up with an idea. You have to discuss. You have to critique other people's presentations, right? Exchange of ideas. Because with exchange of ideas and sharing the information, you get a lot of new stuff, and you get, innovative ideas. So I had to learn these presentation skills from step one. So because of that, I personally think that in the colleges and in the universities, there is high importance on communication. And therefore, it is very important that we teach our children right from, schooling stage. Just to open up. Yeah, and it increases confidence in them. When they can talk about their work, or when they can present their work, it reinforces their confidence, and their strength and their skill. So it is very important that we help them, go through these presentation skills and master them. I completely agree with that. Right. So the next question is about network etiquette or netiquette. Right. What are your thoughts around that? See, and now when we are communicating, another aspect is non-verbal communication. Yeah. Right. We think, okay, now I speak, I'm here, I'm done, I'm gone. No. When somebody walks into a room, we observe the person. You see, how they're walking, their confidence, how they're communicating. They're also communicating. Right now, you're making an eye contact with me. So that is and I'm getting confidence from you that you are understanding what I'm saying, and I get the reinforcement that, okay, I'm saying the right thing, I'm not talking some gibberish. Right. So with that, I stay on track, I keep talking. So that is very important. Making an eye contact and non-verbal communication helps other people to carry a smooth conversation. So it is very important that when we are now sending an email, or when we are leaving a message, we should maintain certain, etiquette. For example, you have all this LinkedIn, networking sites where you're staying in communication with your professional people, or social contacts, which are linked to your profession. There, you have to have certain etiquette, where you present yourself in a decent professional manner. The way you talk, don't use slang, don't use abusive language. Don't put on your personal information there. I mean, for that, there are other sites, like, you can do it on your Instagram or Facebook or so on and so forth. So you have to understand where you should be doing what, right? And when you send a email, you have to write the subject matter. You have to be professional by how you address the person, how you end the email. So these things. So these things are very important. And also, when you are responding, make sure you're responding to all the questions. Make sure you're responding on time. So these are certain network etiquettes which comprise communication skills too. Nice. Right. So could you provide some
like tips for improving, your profiles on LinkedIn,
Right.
So that it just stands out from the rest.
Yeah, one good place to start is put a nice profile picture which is suitable to your professional setting. Say for example, people might have taken pictures in Hawaii. Well, that should not be your LinkedIn picture.
I agree.
Yeah, and then list your contributions, or list your qualifications, and follow the norms that are there in in the professional background, and you have to network with people. Just having a LinkedIn profile is not enough. Stay on LinkedIn regularly, and go and comment on other people's posts. You have to reinforce other people. So, then you get the reinforcement back.
Yeah.
Show that you're active. And how do we show that we are active? By reacting to other people's posts, or liking, or commenting, or you posting yourselves. So that's one. And networking is very, very important. People underestimate about your relationship, your professional relationship.
Yeah.
No, see, you are going to move from job to job to job. Yeah. That's good. You're growing up the ladder, but then don't burn the bridges.
Yeah.
Right. You have to build the network. You have to maintain cordial relationships with your peers and your professional colleagues. So that's very important.
Very important. Yeah.
Yeah. And we are in this society where you have to toot your horn a little bit. Right? If you are aware of certain skills, or if you have learned certain skills, it's okay. You can show it out. You can advertise on LinkedIn, because that's how people come to know. Don't expect people to know your talents or your skills or your additional qualifications. So you need to tell them. You need to put it there in a nice professional way.
It's true.
Right? Yeah. So and also give good feedback to other people. Write good recommendation letters. Mentoring is one place where you can leave your mark in your professional background. You share your knowledge. So yeah.
So we have spoken about professional relationships.
Right.
What about our general relationships? How can we improve communication between a wife and husband, or siblings?
Yes. When we say communication skills, we are using all these communication skills everywhere, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And it is our core personality. Our communication skills, we carry that everywhere.
Right.
It's our brand. So if you say Padmaja, what is Padmaja? Padmaja is like I'm a little bit an extrovert, I'm highly sociable, so it goes with my name, it goes with my personality. So I'm going to carry this everywhere, right? Obviously, not that everybody likes my personality. I have to adjust and tweak my personality depending upon the situation. At work, I might show a certain kind of personality, but at home, I probably have to tweak it. So, I'm having a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
We hear a lot about, problems in relationships, in spousal relationships. And mostly it is because of lack of communication. Lack of communication, because now everybody is like hooked on to TVs or networks, or we are talking. We are talking. Definitely we are talking, but we are talking to people who are 10,000 miles away. We are not engaging in a conversation with a person who is next to us. So we have to find a platform where we can talk, find mutual interest where we can communicate. And if you think that you are not able to send your message to the right person in the right fashion, you have to tweak it again. And listening, we don't listen. That's the big problem.
Yes.
We don't listen, especially when it comes to the relationship between parents and children. Children don't listen, parents don't listen. So we all have to increase our listening skills. That's one advice I give, listening skills. And also when we are communicating, don't say negative things. Always say positive things. Then you might have to say, I have to say something. I have to correct my child. How can I be positive all the time? Yes, understand. If you have to say a negative, always lace a negative with a positive. So meaning, start off with a positive. then the child becomes receptive. They're going to open up and, okay, mom is saying something nice. So then they open up, and then now you slowly slide in the negative aspect or the correction, which is there.
A good trick.
Good trick. Yeah. With everyone, you just have to lace the positive and the negative, So that way you will catch the attention of the listener, and then you can push your point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was a lovely discussion. I really enjoyed, and it was very informative, very useful.
Right. And another thing which we see, in terms of communication, not only personal communication, but cultural differences in communication.
Yeah.
So we see this mostly in workplaces. For example, when people who come from collectivist societies like Asia, India, Pakistan, making an eye contact is rude. Like, say, for example, I don't look into my boss's eyes and like talk, or my advisor's eyes. Like, I would like glance away now and then. I would glance at them, because it's out of respect.
Yeah.
Even at home, you'd say when your mom or dad or mother-in-law or father-in-law are talking, you don't look at them, stare at them, right? But here in Western societies, if you don't make an eye contact, it's rude.
Yeah. It's totally opposite.
It's totally opposite, because they say that, okay, you're not interested. I'm talking to you and you are looking somewhere else. So you're not interested. So that is like, and here, like handshake, body touching, it's very important here that you touch. But in certain cultures, like in Middle Eastern cultures or in Asian cultures, you take a bow or you do a namaste, you do a head nod. So these things are acceptable. Right. So we have to keep these things in check when we are communicating with people. And here, like, we should not take offense. Like, somebody doesn't shake your hand, from the Western culture point of view, if somebody doesn't shake your hand, you have to understand that it's their culture that they're not shaking their hands.
Yeah.
Namaste is acceptable. It is a lot of respect. So these are, and proximity too. How close are you standing to a person when you're talking? Again, I give you an example. Here in Western societies, people don't like to stand too close. They like to maintain at least 2 feet distance. But in other cultures, you stand very close. That shows, that you are interested, and you feel more sociable when you're standing too close. So you have to keep these things in mind because now you see people are moving all across different countries. There is a lot of diversity. One thing is, you have to live in Greece like Greeks do, and you have to practice the norms that are there in the culture you're living in. You have to show your acclimatization skills, but also keep in mind that you don't offend people coming from different cultures. So you have to balance it very well. So
wow,
yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah,
so there you have it. So we just have to practice these tips and strategies, because just like Jim Rohn said, motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. So it's been a pleasure talking to you, Padmaja Garu.
Thank you so much, Sirisha. I loved it. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah. And I look forward for many more in our future episodes. Thank you for joining us. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay smiling. Goodbye.
Bye.